fun or just dumb. Maybe what they're doing's funny.
Recently, some have labeled graffiti art. And indeed, it can be attractive, amusing, and interesting. Often, the most famous and perhaps the most controversial graffiti is that blanketing the New York City subway system. One view is that subway graffiti is that it is quickly removed when it appears. No one knows how much is spent totally on the correction of graffiti, but it is estimated that in schools alone the cost runs into forms of graffiti may be highly destructive. 10 years ago, such damage to works of art was rare. Now, it is common worldwide. The motivations are not always so innocent. Graffiti may be hateful, insightful, or radical.
Drugs are like that. Getting older is a lot like walking down a street you never walked down before. You never know what's around the next corner. Some of the things might be...
Drugs are like that. If you keep bouncing that ball in the house, I'm gonna tell. Oh, all right. Come on, we'll build something.
This is a sort of a game, not stepping on the line.
Here, there's like a separate, smaller one in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's augment this a bit, shall we? Okay.
Attends formal school 2 mornings a week. Much of his education, however, is carried on in a kind of education center within the home.
One more.
Closest you can come for long periods of time to simulating the weightlessness of space. It's anticipated that the shuttle will make the building of large space structures possible while working in a shirt-sleeve environment. Space Lab is expected to make significant contributions to science, medicine, industrial processing, and other fields. Upper record, called The Sounds of Earth, they were assembled by a group of prominent scientists and educators. The record begins with a gigantic star whose X-ray radiation increases violently over a period of time, then returns to normal. HEO-1 will be joined in its task of mapping the sky for X-ray sources by 2 other observatories in the future. These spin tests look at a different safety problem, the problem of in general aviation airplanes. In research and burn for about 2 minutes before separating. Their onboard parachutes will then bring them back to Earth for recovery and reuse. The large external fuel payloads, according to NASA's Director of Pricing, Launch Agreements, and Customer, This payload section of a shuttle under construction gives some idea.
Planet. Each planet, both Jupiter and Saturn, rotates in approximately 10 hours to the planet rotating beneath us. As we get closer and closer, the resolution gets higher. We see smaller and smaller features. And as we get very close,
all distant world, a token of our sounds, our science, our images, our music, our thoughts, and our feelings. We are attempting to survive our time so we may live into yours. We hope someday. Not all the launches were successful, however. Both the Delta and an Atlas rocket failed shortly after liftoff. The first unsuccessful launch in 3 years for the Delta, and since 1975 for the Atlas.